And we're live, so happy Wonder Wednesday, everyone. Welcome back to another event here at Floxies Community. If this is your first time here with us, we're an international community for women in UX UI design and Webflow development. Every Wednesday, we get together for what I like to call our Wonder Wednesday, where we invite expert speakers from either the design or the Webflow world, and we meet together into our metaverse, which I'm super excited to show you today because I'm rebuilding the whole kind of Floxies headquarters. And so let me show you. You're going to have a first look. I was up until 10 p.m. last night building this, and so I hope you like it. All right. Here we go. I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough of the actual map and then we can get started. So yeah, as you can see, we now have an entrance where people can, be greeted and everything. I'm very much of a nerd when it comes to building gather town spaces, and so yeah, we have a little kind of library area where you can just read our ebooks that have been shared in the community, a co-working space alongside the building, classrooms where we can get our our knowledge a little bit deepened, and our main room today where we're gonna have our event is this one here where I'm about to walk in. So stay tuned, and here we go. All right, I started the live stream. So welcome everyone, welcome to our Wonder Wednesday, welcome to our new Gather Town map headquarters, office, house, however you like to call it. I'm so happy to have you all here. And we're back with Wafa. Wafa, you are one of the most loved speakers in our community. Everyone loves you. You have a little fan club into our Discord, and we love you so much because you're so passionate about the topic of design systems. You're so well organized, and yeah, we just love having you here. We met 2 weeks ago to kind of go through the design system, the Floxies design system, and how to build it up from scratch, following your best practice. And so today is part 2. And do you remember where we left off?
Yes, I do. Actually, I was just meanwhile looking into where I left off and just bringing back where I was before. So
amazing. I did the same. So I'm just gonna get the Figma file and share it here in the chat so that people can follow along if they want to. And yeah, how are you today, Wafa? Did you have a good...
I'm doing well. It's always a pleasure to come and do this. And yeah, I'm doing well. I took 1 week break from work too, so that's kind of nice. I'll refresh back to work. Sometimes you need a break,
Isn't that
just
amazing? You're on holiday and then you're back into our Floxies community. From one good thing to the other.
yes, yes.
No, I'm joking,
If
but yeah,
you
we're very
want me,
happy to have you back.
thank you. I think I can start sharing and get started.
For sure.
If you guys are ready. Okay, let me share
For
my
sure.
screen and let me know if I'm sharing the. I'm not sharing the right screen. Sorry.
Yeah, I can see it. I can see the Figma. Or maybe you already have
Yeah,
it open somewhere else. Yeah.
actually, I was trying to because the last time it troubled us so much. So I just wanted to make sure I start, use the desktop version. So I'm just.
I see. I
Can you
see.
guys see that? Okay, perfect. Okay, that's exactly what. All right, cool. I remember last time we actually really worked on getting styles ready. If you see on my left panel, we had some text styles, color styles, and I put all the existing assets just for here. And ideally, we would have a cover for us later, but just like I just wanted to put them here so we know what we are working with. So I think let's just go to the style first. I know we tried to organize. We had a cover. We said we're gonna have a separate page for brand guidelines, and then we're gonna have separate page for components. Again, we can divide if there's so many components. We divide them into separate pages. For now, we are starting with very limited library, so we don't have to. So we will make use of different frames. So just like we have illustration here, logos, and then, so on. Like we could, divide the input fields or depend on type of component. But sometimes, like when there's so many frames, then you divide them further into separate pages.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could start with pages. Right now, I could make a page about, because we already added the colors. So let's make a page about colors. Oh, sorry, actually, my bad. I remember. I'm just rethinking what was my thought process before. So here within styles, I remember I was thinking I'm going to add styles, which is colors. And actually, what I'm going to do, I just made a copy of the same frame that we had in the component. And I'm just going to call that all of my color swatches will go here. And all of my, I don't know, let's see, my typography will go here. Because I want to leave some of the guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will also update my frame name as well. I'm going to call this color and typography.
Perfect.
Okay. Um, Perfect. So I'm just quickly going to reduce all the padding just because I don't want so much padding. If you guys remember, we also created a main component for our top heading. So I'm gonna go to my main heading. I think that to me this is too much spacing, so I can do some little bit of math. I'm doing -16, so I don't have to think about you know here. I like 64 better. Just feel much better, and then I could do this 96.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go see how that impacted our frame. Now you see it shifted a bit. Oh, actually, this one also have like some padding
Do you
coming
work with
from.
multiples of 8?
Yeah, always. That's like,
What's
yeah.
the difference between doing that and working with multiples of 4? I guess it's the same, because or not.
I I think usually 8 pixel usually work because 4 gets too smaller sometimes. But if there is a need, I'll go down to 4 too. So it's go like 1, 2, 4, 8, then 16 like that. So you could go down to this level, but I try to stick with 8 always. It's
As your
just, yeah,
base. That's
it's
good.
always helpful. Yeah, that's my base. Yeah.
Good to know. I can
All
see
right.
Kathleen nodding. She's like, yep, me too.
So since we already created some textiles and color styles, there's this nice plugin that I like to use, especially you guys can start because again, right now we want to do this faster too. It's called auto documentation. So if you run this, what it does, because since you already have added all the styles, so what it'll do, as soon I run this, you guys can see there's color and there's fonts. So I'm gonna say, could you document all the colors for me? So what it'll do is it's creating all the colors that we added the other day. The swatches. This right here is my main component, right? And these are like all the instances. Let me just move them below just to show you guys. If basically that main component, if many times I want my swatches to look different. I mean, they're pretty, and you guys can see it automatically named for me. This was my text white, text black with my hex code and everything. What is so cool about this is like if you make any change to this, oops, because this is my main component. You see like everything is getting updated. So again, this is my main component. So again, right now I'm setting these up, Claudia. Not necessarily this need to look the similar way, but if you end up wanna change some things, like here in this case, I would like to have a
That's
fill
so
of
cool. That
light.
that looks so fancy already with that
Yeah,
little curve.
yeah. So like you could just play around with this component, and your all of your swatches will get updated. So in that case, I'm going to take my swatch, the main component. I'm going to put it where all of my local components are. So they kind of live here. I would like to add. You can also, like, I don't know. I'm just gonna go in and just add a little shadow as well.
Yeah, and I'm sharing the
Sorry, give me a
plugin
second.
in the chat. And just a reminder to everyone
Yeah.
watching us here today. This is an interactive event, so please feel free to drop your questions. We would like to know whether you built a design system from scratch yourself, or if whether this is your first time, kind of looking at how to do it. And so yeah, keep those conversations going so that we can make the most of this hour that we have.
Okay, now since we got the colors in place, I think I'm gonna make a copy of another one, and this is going to be my H2 heading. And what I want to do, I want to organize it in a similar way. So I think I'm gonna do this fill container. Can you just work with me? Not sure. Again, we did this. This one's when you do fill container. I would have left align everything. Um, I think these fixes need to be done in our main plugin.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, main component. So what I could do, I can say push changes to the main component. So if I updated an instance and I don't want to go there, I know all of my H2 headings need to behave like this. So I could say push changes to my main component. So every time when I bring that component or make a copy from there, it'll do that for me. Now for the color, I know like in my textiles, I have the way I divided was my first I had like headings, then body, then sorry, my bad. So we're doing color first. So we did text, background, primary, secondary, all that. So in that case, I'm just gonna type text. Um, the design doesn't look that good, guys. I mean, right now, what I'm more interested in is linking everything, and then later go and clean up and design.
That
You
sounds
guys can
good.
do it the other way around, but
No judgment.
I like you know, I like linking things up first, just because then we have a lot of all I have to do is just apply different things, and everything is gonna get updated. So that just, I think that's pretty fun when you guys gonna try all that. So here, then I'm adding these, and then at the same time, I could just quickly, those are my two text colors that are, I'm gonna just pull them. Oops. I'm going to put them in a auto layout. Usually you could call it a container, like a CTN, and then just bring it in and then toss it in there. Um, Just give me a second. I'm thinking, and then the container itself, like it has a 96 padding, so I could just add 96 padding in this. Oh. See, now I feel like the white one doesn't even show, so I feel like we could just go, start. Why don't I go into my main component and add a nice shadow in the background? Um,
I can see some comments coming in from the people watching. So Liane says it's my first time building design systems, and so or even looking at how to build one from scratch. And so Wafa,
mhm.
what would you say to somebody just like starting off for the first time? What's your first favorite tip to give them? Like, don't, my
I
personal one
mean,
is like, don't be scared, because I was terrified just by looking
yeah.
at design systems. But yeah, Wafa, what would you say?
I think for me is like sometimes when you look at it as a whole, it's a lot of steps. Start small and don't get overwhelmed by just looking at it. Like, oh my God, like I have to do this, do that. Start small. Like I said, add your colors, add typography, slow, it's going to get, the funny thing is the more you're going to take next step, another step, and things just become more clear to you. And then you start adding more. So, but yeah, I feel like if you understand your foundation, right, like how, like even like if you follow these steps, like how I'm adding those colors, swatches, and guidelines, then I feel like, yeah, I mean, everything will just make sense once you guys have like some basic foundation set up. Um,
Awesome. And
here,
Andrea, who's here with us, she's also saying, I've only done a couple of these before, been a freelancer front-end developer, but it's really good to know more about Figma, which I love. Yeah, 100%. I can sympathize with that because all the experts that we had have been sharing such useful plugins as well that we can use to optimize our workflows when designing these design systems. And so it has been like a treasure to have you all guys here sharing those beautiful knowledge gems.
yeah, so I think it's just get started. I feel like, get started, just don't look at all the steps and just don't get overwhelmed by these things. I mean, like it'll make sense. And then I always just start with just getting all of your assets in Figma, creating some styles, and then slowly you will, start adding more and more things. What I will do now, I'm sorry, I'm switching from this to that. So now, what I'll do, I'll just hug my content. So just, make sure, and then also hug content below as well. So I can start some padding below 96. So then, as I'm going to add that, sorry, as I'm going to add more and more, so I want this to be very, adapt to this. So now, I would like, definitely some more padding in between. So I'm going to start with 48 and see. So you guys can see just playing around with some padding, and like within this frame, like I'm adding some padding, and now everything is just like looks nicer, cleaner already. Now after primary, what colors we had? I think it was secondary, I
Yeah,
believe, right?
yeah.
Double check because I wanna keep the same order. Um, so maybe Claudia, if you want to make copy and do the headings, then maybe like that would be, we can, and you can also, like, we could just get this done quickly. So what I'm doing, I'm just being lazy right now. I'm just making copies and using
You tell me what to do and I'll do it for you.
So just make one heading just like that.
Yeah,
Copy, paste,
yeah,
and name this gradient.
yeah.
Let me get you comfortable there. I know many times, like, I don't want to touch this, What if, just go for it. Just type
If I
gradient,
can spell,
right?
yeah.
We have, like, yep, you're all good. You're all good. And now I want you to take, like, how many gradients? Yep, you could do that. Now, that sometimes I feel lazy, so you can just drag these two gradients and remove the, because I don't want to rename the container and just change the padding. So here are two gradients right there, because we already have RGB and everything on it right there.
Oh yeah, I
These
see
two.
them. Yeah, yeah. So do I
Just
just
drag it.
drop them here and remove the
Yeah, hold,
rest?
hold command. Yeah, sometimes you have to hold, yeah, command key, and it just does a good job. But you may want to remove the other colors because, like I'll select them. Yeah, perfect. There's two more left.
Yeah. One.
I think I've selected. Perfect. Yeah. So I think that we have the last set of colors, and we have like few tints, and those need to be added as well. And then we are good with this then. Um,
Lian says the sound cracks. Is that only for me? Let me ask her. I can hear you fine. I hope everyone can everyone else hear us okay here? Yeah? Cool.
okay.
Yeah, thumbs up. Oh, look at all these new emojis. I love being in a new gather. All the excitement of the novelty.
All right, I think all the colors are in. We'll do the same thing for the fonts. Now they have something called fonts. So in the font, we can decide, do you need the font name text on it? You know, everything, like it really depends like how you want your fonts to be displayed. I'm going to say now document all of my fonts, and they are documenting it. It's kind of like this. It'll put anywhere really. So sometimes like that is like a challenge, but that's okay. I'll take that. If that, you know, having me do this, you know, manually. So, all right. So again, just like that, we have this main component. We can, you know, tweak it later, however we want. And I think I'll have fun with this. But right now, what I'll do, I'll just simply put that all in one auto layout. And I think I'll just bring, actually, you know what? We also need to divide. Remember, divide the headings similar to like this. So what I will do, I'm going to use sometimes, I'm going to use the same color just because it has like some kind of setup. So I'm just going to update, and now same frame will be used. Typography. And I'll update that. And maybe Claudia, do you want to update the section? The, like, you know, the first one says heading, body, button, and display. So we need 4 subheadings. And I'll remove below because we just need 4 of them. And then what I will do, I'm going to, because I think we have H1, H2, H3. So these 3 are the headings that I have. Actually, I put them already in another auto layout. So I'm just pulling these out, and I know I have these 3 headings. So I'm going to put them in one auto layout. And I'm just going to call this, like, again, it's a container that's holding all 3 headings. I would still like to just give a 96, you know, side padding so that we have good space. And I think we already have 48 above, so I wouldn't bother with that. So I'm just going to place it in there for now. And then I will do the same thing. I'm going to remove my colors. And now I have, oh, we also had H4. So one thing you guys like is sometimes you try to drag it and you don't see that blue line because sometimes you don't. It's annoying. So I think if you hold Command key, it does a good job finding you that blue line where you want to drop that. So here I'm dropping my H4 as well. Now I think we had 2. Oh, we have 1 body regular, and I don't know, we have very tiny font. So here I'm going to name exactly the folder we did, body, and then we have a separate font for the button. And then what was the last one? The last one is, oh, we have a display, sorry. So maybe the top one is a display.
I'm trying to troubleshoot these audio issues as well in the background.
Yeah. You're good. You're good. Okay. So these 2 are my body. So this one and this one. So what I'll do, I'm just gonna bring it underneath. And again, remember, I need to put this in auto layout so that. And then I'm also gonna call this a container, so I know that this is a CTN. And
we have a question from Kathleen here from our space. So for color system, is it best practice to consider adding utility colors too for states like success, warning, error?
Yes. Like again, why ideally, I would create a very detailed palette, and I think you guys can go to different design system to even get those palettes for yourself if you want to do this. And again, my main goal for me, for Claudia, is to have whatever we have, we put it in an organization manner first, and then we're going to add more colors, because again, like Claudia will really depend on what you want to add later. But yeah, if you're starting and you have the ability, I would say definitely. And I think I can walk you guys through, like, I mean, ideally in one of my design systems, I can show you my personal template some other time, but I would have like text color, background color. I would, if you want, you can have a button colors as well. But I don't do that. But then also alert colors and the tints and the shades and the in transparencies and yeah, there's a bunch and gradients, and then you can subdivide your color into light and the dark version. So, and you guys can easily find all this in ton of design system in Figma community. So it's a matter of, how much, how many colors you want. And one other thing, just don't overdo it too.
So
So don't overdo
the
it.
same way that I'm a nerd about building Gather Town, Wafa here is a super nerd about building design systems. So like, yeah, more
Right,
than once she warned
right.
us like that this could get really deep.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes, for sure. But it seems like you guys are all so much interested in this, so
Oh,
that makes it more
it's been a
fun.
huge topic, yeah. Like we spent 2 months just
Yeah.
like talking. I think it's super important, especially like for anyone starting off. It's good to start with a good practice, rather than doing like 2 years in design with messy designs all over the place and then realize, oh, that
Right.
would have worked.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Actually, I didn't realize it. You already named those for me, and then I renamed my titles. Okay. So I think I'm just gonna here. I'm gonna make a copy of the same thing, and then I'm going to remove this. I believe that's it. Okay. So now we have all our. I believe we have all of them in. Um, and then one of the things I will do, no, I feel like there's so much information that I don't need, and I can really have fun with this. So here I have a preview frame. So now I could, the preview frame, I could add some padding top and bottom, and I wish I could show you guys as I'm making those changes. So how fun that can be. So now I can add, like, let's just say I want to add 16 top and 16 on the side. And the preview could be like, could have a nice fill. So I could just add a very nice, what is the lightest fill we have? Actually, we have really dark fills. Um, let's see. Let's do that. And then all our text is white. I mean, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, just to show you guys, like, you guys can really have fun with this. Because again, for me, if everything is linked, anything can be changed and really fast ways. So now I'm just gonna say 24. Again, this is just a preview, and now we can really think about it. So here it's displaying the name, correct? And then it's also displaying the family, weight, size, and and then I wonder what if I put them in the auto layout, because I just don't like it how like everything's spread apart. So I can, if I put them in auto layout, and which I did, and then I could just also, again, it's a horizontal layout, and then I could just simply do this maybe, and this thing could also be, sorry, thing could also be like a fill container, like however big this is, and then I could center this, um, and then I'll do the same thing for this, and I kind of just, uh, and then I think I will also add some padding just to make it look nicer. Um, and I feel like this is too dark, and I think I'm just gonna add, for now, I'm gonna add this color and then make all the text black. I think that will still, even this is too dark for me. So you can, I'll let you decide on that, you know? It's like, well, however you want to present this later, but you know.
Yeah, I've seen like people customizing, adding stickers. It goes down to your own personality after, but
Exactly.
first get the structure
Um,
right, and then you
right,
can play
right.
around with it.
So one of the things that I found out after such a long time, and I think once I did, I was like, oh my God, why didn't I know this before? So many times, like I'm selecting multiple things, right? Like for instance, if I want to update all of the, all the fonts all together, I want to select all of them. And I would just like, hold my shift key, double click, I used to do that. So now the best way, I don't know. Maybe if you guys knew this already using in Figma, I was very late to learn this. So if you hold the frames you want and then you just press enter. So what it does is select the sub layer for you. Then you press enter, then it goes one more down. So in that case, now everything is selected for me, and now I could go to my, I think that was my regular font size there, and then I'm able to, update everything. Um, Hold on, and then one other thing. Now I feel like, do you see there's some cutouts because they are fixed with? So now I'll select both of them again, and then I'm going to select that, and I'm just gonna say hot content so that there's a nice it doesn't cut out it doesn't cut out, like if it's a longer word I'll just push it further. And then what I'll do, I'll just simply fill container this so that's nice and clear what goes where. Now we do have this organized, and I think it's kind of oh, I'm supposed to delete this, got it. um, and this is my display, and I personally like to move my display all the way up, so I can use my arrow keys to move it all the way up, just because I think display is usually goes up, then I do my headings, and again, if you want to do this differently, that's fine too. So oh, it says headings, so it's supposed to say headings. All right. Oh, and then if you remember, sorry, if you remember this thing right here, where it's supposed to go, it's supposed to go in our local components. So, so then I'm just gonna put this right here. I mean, you can definitely organize this better too, but I'm just gonna put it there for now. So right now I have color swatches and I have heading one, and then I have like I'm gonna say we'll continue to this, and then I've heading two. So we got some stuff which we continue to use to display the information. So now we have styles. Let's go back to components. I need to remind. Okay, we still have 20 minutes. I think if you guys remember, we started setting this up. We were all good with our variants. So for instance, if I get this out, if you guys remember, I set up the variant, I can switch between to filled to unfilled one, and then whether I want a small or a large
Oh
one.
yeah, I've
We
forgotten
did that,
about
right?
that. So cool.
Yeah. So now I think the second part was the illustrations. So
Are
um
you sure?
so now I feel like illustrations are pretty cool. I mean, you have like such good illustrations. So I'm just gonna pull some out, and then
I need to draw some new
are
ones.
there more? Are there
No,
more?
they're the other
Those
ones.
are the two.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'm just going to take them, and I would just put them in the same length of the frame. Um, not, I mean, there's no reason about this, but just for future, like I gotta make sure. So I will round this. I'm gonna play around and see maybe. Do you have like usually your website? What is the width of this website? So it's like 1440,
Yeah.
because then I will do both 1440. Okay. And then let's see.
I'm gonna drop you another one here. There you go. He's our mascot,
There you go. Yeah,
Flo.
yeah, there you go. It's so cute. I love it. Um, and then I just like some. I'll do 800 because as long as I'm cutting out the head. Oh, did it distorted it? I don't want this distort because I think you're kind of cropping it. Okay, you can tell it's distorting it. Did it? I I could. Oh, there it is. So I could always say, fill. Hold on, and then fit. It'll do it. It'll do a good job. Like it's 1440 800, and then also 800, and then nope. I was there. Okay, cool. Same frame. I think we could leave this in the same frame the way it is. It's just I want like consistent frame. So if you're switching, so you know where it's gonna go. So I'm gonna take all three. Gonna go back to my components, and I'm going to just these are big illustrations. So I'm just going to hug and then hug. So I would make them components. So if you ever wanna, do you want to? Yeah, obviously you want yourself to reuse them, but you can always come back and update the sizes. And if you want a smaller version or lighter, smaller and bigger and medium version of 3 illustrations, you could also do the same thing, creating this. So I created. Are we supposed to create? I think I wouldn't create the component uh, variants for these. But I will put some spacing that we've been adding. So because of the consistency, and there you go. So we got illustrations in. All right, what else is left?
I think we covered most of it.
We actually we have quite a lot. We have
Oh,
buttons,
the
right?
CTAs, yeah.
Right, all the buttons, and then I'm just gonna pull the ones out that you have. I actually buttons are really fun and okay. Do you so there are two ways we could do. Sometimes I like to go into the other design system, get their buttons, bring it over here, and change it to make it look like Floxies and do the less work. Do you guys want to see that? Like how to do this
Yeah,
rather than do it from the scratch?
let's see how to
Okay.
adapt to another design
All right.
system, because I can,
Yeah.
I imagine most people would start by doing
Oh,
that,
that's what.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. So I'm going to go to the community, Figma community. And I'm wondering which one to take it from. Um, all right, let's see. I will just pick like whatever the design system they show us, and grab. That's a, and we could look like the most popular one, and then I think it'll probably suggest the ant. There you go. We could take them. And I'm not sure if they're using component properties or not, but I think it's just gonna give us uh, so Figma is always coming up with new things. So hold on, okay, it froze on me.
How many apps do you have open today?
Probably not. I did close up everything. I'm actually supposed to get a new computer soon, so I'm just this one has been acting up too. So just so you guys know.
No problem.
Oh, I had this open, so we can use that one.
Mm-hmm.
You can try this one. Google Material 3 Design Kit. That's actually one of my favorite ones.
I love that you have favorite ones.
Yeah. But not necessarily. Actually, this one is using properties. Um, and I just wanted to make sure I show you guys how to create properties because even now people are making variations. There's the old way of making variation. And now there's a lot of much faster way of doing it. So I just want to make sure I cover that. Again, you guys can go check out the styles. Like, even for this, I think I can give you guys a little bit overview. Look how many things. There are elevations. By the way, when you guys create a lot of shadows and effects, then also you also may want to display this. Okay. You also may want to display this. So here I'm going to go to their components. All right, guys, now it's like it's slowing down for me, but so I'm just gonna zoom into the buttons. Just don't get, there's different kind of cards and buttons. I think we can grab this one. So I'm just gonna copy this. Okay, there are some steps when you bring from other libraries. So there definitely you have to be mindful about some of the things. Just don't copy paste because in the end, what will happen, you got to make sure you delink everything from the other library. And there's some steps for that. So I'm going to go to my components and I'm just bringing this in this library. I'm just going to copy paste as simple as this. And what many people do is they don't realize that the colors are still linked to the Google Material Design. The icons are still linked to the Google Material Design. And then imagine if you go to 10 different libraries and you're going to bring a lot of unnecessary linking. And I think when I say this, so why it's a bad idea to have everything linked to the other design system?
Because whenever well, yeah, let me see if anyone here wants to take that question first.
Yeah.
Because if they make changes, that'll affect your file.
So that's exactly why. Yeah. So we have to be very, very mindful about it. We are making sure nothing is linked. And then for me, it's pretty obvious. Like if I right click right here and if I go to my main component and, it's going to take me back to the design system. So there's many ways for me to do this. So what I usually do, I would take their plus because we don't have icons, right? We don't have much icons. Let's just say I'm going to detach this icon. And I'm sure there must be a faster way. If anybody know a faster way of doing this, I'd be interested. So I'm gonna call this add. And we're gonna get some. There's so many free plugins to get icons and create your own icon library. So make sure you have like different variation of thin and the thick fonts and icons and do that. So once I've added this, the faster way is, I could just go here. Just give me a second. And I could go, let me do this way. Select all with the same instances. And okay, it's kind of weird. Like why? Oh, sorry, I switched to the web version. I'm gonna get out. Sorry guys, I'm gonna get out of the web version. Just bugs me more. No. It's asking me to verify, and it's not letting me see some things. All right, what I'll do, there's one more way. I'm going to make a copy of this instance that I just created. Can you guys see that? Copy. And then again, I'm going to select all of my add components. And I'm going to just select with all the instances. And I can right click and I can say paste to replace. And what it'll do, it'll paste to replace all of them for me, since it was white and obviously turned white. Just wanted to show you guys that's a quick way to do this. Again, it pasted all of them to the local component. And I'm going to Command Z this because there's also another way of doing this that I personally like. Is there's a tool called Insta plugin. There's a plugin called Insta Relinker. So once if you made that same component that is coming from another library, you can open this and you can run this. Oh, okay. I opened it over here. I mean, it never showed me. Okay. So let me select this again. Yep, it's giving me some error, which I used it this morning. But yeah, I mean, like this is also one other way of doing this. But you know, before you bring anything, what about all those colors? You guys can see on the side, it's saying they're not our colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we also want to make sure it looks like our buttons. So I think let's just, I'm going to bring this over here, and I'm going to bring in some components. All right, it looks like that's like you have like I just want to make sure I'm not doing it wrong. So I can select this on the side, and then quickly I can they have like ton of, you know, variations. You may not want like all those variations, and obviously that's the decision for you to make. But I think just to show you, like instantly I can go and open this, and all that are purple. And obviously right now you don't need a dark version, right? So I'm going to remove the dark version because I think that's also adding up to it. But later you can always get it. So instantly I just changed one color and then it updated for me. Here I'm going to change my black to, because it's a text color, most of them. So it changes this. But then there's also like a lighter version. So I think we don't have, I would let you decide, but you know, I'll just quickly, I know that these not going to go well. So I think we don't have that many color in our palette right now. I would add them. I would detach them all. And to detach them all quickly, right? There is a really fun plugin that I love, and I think
Hopefully this one works.
Sounds, it's called Run Destroyer, right? So what it does, it destroys literally everything in the component. So you can just open it. Now, if you want to destroy all the instances, it will automatically unlinks everything. Then if you want to destroy all the auto layouts, which I would never suggest because I cannot work without it. And if you also want to like or you know, destroy all the styles, like for instance, if it's linked to some other design system and you want to just destroy, like instead of going detaching all of them, just do destroy like all the text style, effect style. So now they're going to be unlinked. So I'm not going to destroy everything. I'm just going to destroy all styles for now. So now when I click on this on the side, you can see now you have all those colors, but they're not linked to anything. But if you like, oh, I like this purple. Let's just say I want to add this purple, which you can add now. Again, just something to think about. And now, like, obviously, your button looks pretty different than the other ones. Actually, I want to see how this, if I'm selecting this.
Irina says I use this plugin often. Kathleen says I love the name of it. Didn't know about this plugin.
And I
Sounds
think
useful.
like that's the one. And I think that's the one you will not forget because of the name. I think that's the fun part about this. So, all right. So, I think what I want to do next is obviously I want to. Are we on time? Yeah. I'm going to now tweak I'm just gonna say like you have 6. I believe it's 6. Radius. So again, I can. I'm just forgetting. Sometimes it gives me like this. I'm not sure it's why it's not giving me. Sometimes it would give me a little anchor point, then I can select everything, but I'm not sure right now. Select all with the same, because these are probably main components in the variation. So, okay. So it's not even selecting all of them. Anyway, so I think what I'll do, I'm just going to change it to 6, just so that it will look like, yours.
Mm-hmm.
So, let me see if I can select it that way. Sometimes, the old-fashioned way. Not sure why it's doing this, but we'll take it right now. So 6 layers are a lot. Okay, so I mean it's definitely close, and then you have all those buttons. Oh, I see. I think now it's selecting everything for me. Because I was thinking, why is not selecting everything for me? Now it did.
What was it?
But so I think I was selecting the maybe top layer, how they set this up. I mean, I should, sometimes when you get those things from other design system, you haven't done it from the scratch. Sometimes like you have a hard time understanding, did they put it in another frame? So yeah, I mean, I would personally check like in detail. I mean, time break it down and see, if there are extra frames, stuff like that. But yeah, but they're not. So here, obviously, all the text that is being used here is not because if you remember, we added this text as button. So what I did, actually, let me just start over if I went too fast. So I am selecting the inside text and I'm saying, select all of them, like within this variation. So now what it did, you guys can see there's an underline everywhere. So it's again, it's quickly applying the textile on all of them. And I think I can pick, that was a button, right? I mean, I forgot. Did we not add a text for a button? Yeah, right there. So there you go. And then it's added. Now, I think the last step is for me is just to really see your padding and everything. And I can hold Option key. And again, you have, I would say around 40 on both sides. And then this, try to use again. How about 16 top and bottom, or do you want to stick with the same one, 12 and 14, or that's fine.
We'll follow your best practice because we have to
Okay.
redesign the website anyway. So
Okay. So in that case, you know what? I'm actually what Figma has done is they actually, and I started to use that a lot. Because do you guys remember, like, we have this extra space above the text and below the text. So what Figma has done now, actually, I'm going to open my text style. Figma has this property where it removed that above and top space, and I could just do this. And now I think that just gives us a lot of control. It can be centered. It's because it's closely added. So I just updated this. Now I will again. I'm going to select all the buttons together, and now I'm going to play around with the spacing to make it look like your button just for this. So I remember. So I said let's do 16, and then 40. And obviously, it's just I need to space them out. Should give you an option to space them out, but oh wow, Now there's another plugin that you can use to space them out, which I kind of forgot. It was like sorter or yeah, that's gonna make it.
I don't know if it's a CSS question from Irina. Trimming text. Is there a similar thing in CSS?
Trimming text.
Text, yeah.
When you said trimming text, isn't that something what I just did, or
yeah,
I may need like yeah. So that's what it was basically. You're basically trimming it, like the spacing. Is that what she meant by this? What I just showed you?
She's wondering like if you do this in the design, how are you gonna implement it during the development?
Oh, if I do this in the design, that is a good question. I wouldn't know. I think if we have another, is that something Webflow can do?
Yeah, that's how we I think, you know, that's especially how people think in this community specifically, because so many of us are designing to then develop on Webflow, and so she's probably thinking this is cool, but if I do this, how do I develop it?
Yeah,
We'll let you know, Irina.
I feel like I wonder. Yeah. I think I'm feeling lazy. Let me see. Maybe sometimes finding a plugin. You know what? Usually I'm in the other room. I would have like a list of plugins because I do forget the names for those. So I think it is like sorter, sort position. No, I feel like sorter. So sorter is pretty good too. It's what it does. Maybe we could try using it, but I don't think that will help us. But yeah, with the spacing, I know there's a way to enable spacing, guys, but unfortunately, I have to just do a little bit of manual work here.
That's okay.
I mean, I'm just gonna do this, and then yeah, I'm just gonna do this because and then perhaps, you know, we can use something like this. I think they're just too close, and Figma can't tell. But yeah, you got your set of buttons, and that's what I was kind of like, okay, now, and how this will work. I mean, again, what I'm doing, I'm literally, it's not like this is not set up correctly. It's just, I just want to make sure. Actually, we're over time. But before I go, just quickly, just want to show you what will happen. Now you guys have applied the styling and everything on this. And now, you know, once you're using in your project, you can always, you know, switch between your label, your text, and all that. And then, you know, you can show the icon, you can turn off the icon. And obviously, you know, you can type whatever over here that should get updated. Now we just use the Google material, you know, this, you guys can clean this up. And then, I mean, that's how you need to, you know, bring in any component from the other design systems. And we can, you know, do this maybe in the next session and finish that.
No, I think this will be our final session on design systems. I think, you know, it has been such an extensive topic to explore, and you know, just like what you were telling me, it's almost never ending. You know, you can always go a little bit deeper and do one extra thing, and so we absolutely appreciate, you know, just the time that you've dedicated, like teaching us all about it, and you know, to all the speakers that we had as well. I think like 2 months is enough of design system, and for anyone.
Hopefully this get them started, right? I mean, that's
100%. 100%. We wanted to reduce this barrier. Like, I know, like personally as well, like I've always looked at them kind of fascinated, like, oh, they look amazing, you know. I wonder how people do them, you know, how long it takes, you know, to build one from scratch. And so yeah, for sure, thank you for facilitating that, because sometimes you just need that extra push, or just somebody to show you that actually, you know, here's a couple steps that you can start with. And so I'm assuming like most people will try to copy a design system into their Figma files and start from there, like start exploring. But now we have all the knowledge that we need from like best practice, how to set up your page, also layout, tokens, components. We've done it all. It's been an amazing journey for 2 months, but I feel like we've covered enough topics, in this specific field. And so, yeah, for anyone else, that would still like to explore design systems, I highly recommend connecting with Wafa. Let me share your LinkedIn if you want, Wafa. Is that your favorite?
Yeah, for sure.
And,
for sure. Anytime feel free to connect with me, and I would like, even if you need any help setting up with the design system or something. I know a lot of people have been asking me too, like, could you help us with those things? But I haven't thought about anything, but I'm happy to see what I could do. Like if you seriously need help, like hand holding and stuff like that. But yeah, we can figure out something, and definitely, again, I'm just happy to help too. So that's awesome.
And you're
Thank you.
amazing, and we're very happy to have you here. I hope that you can, stick around with our community. This is not a goodbye. It's our last event, but maybe you can come back and, teach us all about UX research. Anyway,
Sure. Yeah.
I hope that I'm sure that we will keep in touch, because that's how I run. Once I like somebody, people know here I stick. I'm like glue. But yeah, it's been fantastic to have you.
Yeah, I still have to learn Webflow anyway, so I think I'll definitely stick around.
Yes, please come by. We have so many, amazing women in the community that are always, it's amazing to see how people are ready to help. And so, yeah, that's what I believe in, collective growth. Let's keep growing and supporting one another.
No, I agree 100%. All right.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, and I guess I will see you at our next event, or just in our Discord, or just anywhere. All right.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.